Hey guys, Scott Sullivan here, and in this video we're going to talk about why the first cause has to be immaterial. Alright, so what I want to talk about now is why the first cause has to be immaterial. Once one has shown that a first cause has to exist, kind of the next step is to start to derive certain attributes of the first cause. What must this first cause be like? And obviously, from the get-go, you can see that a first cause has to be uncaused. You know, first cause can't rely on something else for its existence, or it wouldn't be the first cause. Something else would be causing it. You see, that would be a contradiction to say that the first cause is caused by something else. So the first cause kind of has to be, independent in its being. It can't rely on something else for its existence. And so that's just simply an obvious, necessary truth that we can know about the first cause is that if one exists, it can't rely on something else for its existence. And then from that, we can know quite a bit. This notion of a first cause is it's pretty fruitful. It's a very fruitful concept in the sense that we can do the kind of a philosophical analysis of what a first cause must be like, and we can derive quite a few of these attributes, what we call the divine attributes. And what I want to talk about here is this attribute of divine simplicity. The first cause has to be simple. It can't consist of parts. It can't have parts. It can't be a composite sort of whole, a whole that consists of parts. This is a classic doctrine from the history of philosophy. It's an important doctrine from all the classic philosophers who endorsed classical theism. So the Arabic philosophers, St. Thomas Aquinas, would endorse this doctrine of divine simplicity. And what it means is that a first cause can't have parts. And the reason why is because if you do kind of a metaphysical analysis of the part-whole relationship, of how these parts relate to wholes, you can see that anything that consists of parts, I've got a water bottle here, this water bottle. Anything that consists of parts, the whole relies upon those parts for its existence. In other words, the parts of a thing, the parts of a composite whole, are other than the whole, and they are prior to it. Not necessarily prior in time, but prior in being. So any composite object, you can take a pizza for example. The whole exists, but the whole depends on something other than itself. That is to say, the whole depends on its parts for its existence. You couldn't have the whole pizza without all those slices. You couldn't have a whole six-pack of beer without all the cans. And that's true for any composite whole, because in any composite whole, St. Thomas says, those parts are prior to the whole and they're different from the whole. And these are necessary truths. So the reason why a first cause can't be a composite whole like that is because that would mean, if it were like that, that would mean the first cause would rely on something else for its existence, namely, in this case, the parts. The first cause would have to rely on something else. It'd have to have all those parts in place in order for the first cause to exist. But the first cause can't be like that. It can't be a thing that depends on something else other than itself, you see. So this is a classical argument from the history of philosophy. And like I said, this was a well-established position with the Arabic scholastics and was picked up by St. Thomas Aquinas and a lot of the other Latin scholastics, that a first cause being, the first cause itself, it can't be the kind of thing that consists of parts, because if it were like that, it would depend on something other than itself. It would have to depend on those parts for its existence, and that's just a contradiction. A first cause can't depend on something else for its existence. And what this has to do with immateriality is simply the fact that every material object is a composite whole. I mean, take my water bottle here again. Every material object is a whole that has parts to it. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. This, a table, a mountain, tree, whatever. Every material object is a composite whole. Every material object consists of parts. But the first cause can't consist of parts. Therefore, the first cause cannot be a material object. It has to be something that is immaterial, you see. So it's this sort of analysis of the relationship between parts and wholes that St. Thomas Aquinas uses. And he uses it all the time. I mean, gosh, it's all over the works of Aquinas, he really is very strict about this idea that the first cause has to be simple. You know, this doctrine of divine simplicity is that the first cause cannot consist of parts that it has to rely on for its existence, because that is just simply a contradiction. So if you can get your mind around that, you can see that a first cause cannot be a composite whole. It has to be simple, and therefore it cannot be a material object. All right, guys, if you like this video and you want to see more like it, I do videos all the time in the areas of philosophy, theology, and apologetics. If you like that kind of stuff, click this button right here. This is a subscribe button. This will subscribe you to my channel so that whenever I release a new video, you'll be notified about it right away. Also, click this image right here. You want to get a copy of this. Click this. This is my How to Counter Atheism course. So click that. It'll take you over to my website. And you can get a whole course on how to counter the 10 most common arguments that atheists use to undermine belief in the existence of God. Now, if you're on a mobile device right now, these links in the video, they're not going to work, but they are right down there in the video description. Thank you for watching, and God bless.